Hey guys, it's Christian Singer back again from CNH Technology for another review video. This is a parts recommendation, parts review video for today. I'm doing a quickie review video. I recently purchased a couple items from Midway USA. It was a couple recoil springs for the AK platform, and also a couple or the actual hammer spring here for your trigger for your AK platform as well too. And I just want to give a legitimate recommendation, stuff like that for the purchases, because the guns I got from DDI, they're we want to commonly referred to as milled import parts kit guns, and unfortunately because of that, a lot of the springs are kind of worn out in there and stuff like that. So it's always a good idea to take them out and replace them for those specific reasons, because if you get a real weak recoil spring and stuff like that, it'll basically be slamming your bolt carrier back into the back of the receiver all the time, as opposed to just maybe just like barely touching it as well for that. So I just want to give you a review of a couple of items I bought. I basically bought two new recoil springs. They come in the tube like this. It's about 18 inches long. It has ALG listed on here. It says ALG AK recoil spring, and it says ALG defense, and it's the part number 04231. This is their new and improved, that's what they call it. They call it a new and improved recoil spring. It's made from I believe chrome silicon steel right here, plus it also has 3 dead links in the middle of the actual spring here for that. ALG defense claims it supposedly will retain the actual springiness, and it will basically keep the harmonics from overall affecting the actual recoil spring, from actually weakening the spring as a whole, because most springs or most recoil springs you see out there, they don't have any dead links in the middle, and over time they basically wear out for the compression strokes being put on them, and that's one of the primary reasons springs wear out, because they can only take so many strokes being put on the actual spring, because if it's constantly being put on the whole entire spring, ALG came up with having the 3 dead links in the middle to basically separate the spring into 2 pieces, so it'll last a lot longer for your given application for that. And the second thing was I ordered 2 of these as well too, and these are the new ALG braided hammer spring as well too. This is the ALG AKT braided mainspring, they call it in that packaging. It's part number 04232, and as I mentioned before, the other part number was 04231 for the ALG recoil spring assembly. And these are their new production ones they came in the market for. And if you compare them like side by side with what Arsenal and some of the other brands have out there, it's basically along the line of a East German or like a Chinese Polytech Legend recoil spring right here for your hammer right there. And I basically compared it to one of my new Arsenal springs, and it feels like maybe it's about 5 or 10% more tension on here as opposed to the Arsenal one, and it'll actually increase the actual hammer pressure being put on that as well too. So it also might up the poundage whenever you're holding your ALG AKT trigger, maybe from about 1.5 pounds up to about 2 pounds right here for that. So you might not need to have the auxiliary spring for your ALG AKT kit right there for that. So I definitely give them both 2 thumbs up. They're quality pieces right here. The workmanship looks absolutely excellent and great shape right here for this. I can't complain about that at all. It's nice and braided. Loops look perfectly fine, and also, as I said before, the main recoil spring for the bolt carrier and the recoil assembly right there for that looks great. As I said before, it's made from chrome silicon steel, and it also has the 3 dead links in the middle for absorbing, or I should say more appropriately, it keeps the spring from basically having a shock go through the entire thing, so it'll keep the spring to have its springiness a lot better than a typical import surplus ones like East German, Russian, Bulgarian, stuff like that. So that's why they designed it as such. Because even when you put it side by side next to your old spring, you can notice it's a lot more tighter on there for that. And it should definitely last you probably 10,000 rounds at least out there for that, because ALG makes great stuff out there for that, and I wouldn't question them at all about these specific recoil springs, because Rob Ski recommended them. So I went out and said, okay, if Rob Ski recommends them, I'll look into getting some for my guns here, and they definitely do work. And the other thing is, they do also make your gun feel a little bit more smoother cycling. And the other thing is, it feels like maybe the recoil is dampened down a bit as well too, as a side effect from putting a slightly heavier spring. Because I compare it to my old spring, and the old spring was about almost a 1 3/4 inches shorter than this one right here, so it has better positive lockup into the battery right there for it as well too. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot, feel free to leave me a message here on the page, and I'll direct you to the place where I actually purchased these as well too, guys. So I'll see you, and have a nice day.